Chat, 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 1, 2, 1, 2.
Good evening, greenhorns, and welcome to the Road to Wrestling School. The HOV to the HOP. HOP, of course, standing for the House of Pain, Neil Superior Professional Wrestling Training Center in beautiful downtown Hagerstown, Maryland. I'm Grizzly Duncan McBain.
And I'm hashtag Hamish Stewart.
We are literally on the road to wrestling school, and we're going to let you listen in on the conversation. How you doing this week, Hamish?
I'm all right. I'm okay. How you doing,
I'm
Grizz?
fucking tired, man.
Oh, man.
The sun's going down earlier.
I know, right?
It's bullshit. I am, exhausted going to this fucking school, and I'm never exhausted going here.
Put in a patio in the back of our house, which was a much grander undertaking than I had envisioned it to be.
Like a grand adventure? Or?
Oh, my God. It was quite the grand adventure. It was 2.5 weeks of just grueling digging, and it was a mess. Anyway. By the way, yeah. I got a forklift stuck in the backyard of my neighbor.
You know, I figured that was going to happen.
Tore up my neighbor's backyard, which is great.
I'm sure he loved that.
They brought in an even bigger forklift to get that forklift out.
Oh,
and then allowed me to use the bigger forklift for free because I had 5 pallets to move. I was like, oh, so great.
That's the most depressing story I've ever heard.
Oh, it was depressing and, and fun all at the same time. But anyway, so, yeah, but with the sun going down so early, and believe me, I know there may be a few people that listen to this podcast that are those time naturalists that are like, Eastern Standard Time is the best. We should always keep it there. I don't like daylight savings time. You know what? Screw you. I love daylight saving time. I love it.
Why?
Because I like the sun.
You like the sun? Well, we're not getting it right now, dude.
We don't get this. I like the sun longer. I like to be able to come home and the sun's out, and you're like, oh,
so
this is
you're not dealing
great.
with this all the time.
Yeah, and by this, we're driving in the dark, looking like two creeps, holding microphones to our face while we're driving to the HOP.
Hey, if there was sun, they could see us.
You're right. You're right. I think it'd still look weirder, though, with the ominous glow of the dash lights showing the silhouette of what we're holding up to our faces. I bet it looks like we're doing drugs.
Yeah, probably. Lots of drugs.
But to get on to other things, I think I'm going to switch up working out some of my workout routine. I think I've bottomed out in terms of body fat. The machine at work is telling me I'm below 6% body fat.
Wow.
Yeah, which I don't fully believe, but when you look at some of the other areas, there's a lot of skin that's kind of been loose in my stomach and abdominal cage region, so I won't get that real tight abdominal region that I wanted. And there's some of my quads, so my quads don't really show as much as they should. But
quads never do.
I know. Yeah. But the other places
always let you down.
They do. There's the shoulders, the pecs, the back, looking really good. Good definition in there. But so I think I'm going to start to build out. We'll start the building probably a month earlier instead of January. I'll probably
you just need to build 12 more patios, bro. You'll be fine.
My God.
Do the Rocky workout, man.
Oh, I know, right? I know. So good.
Which is funny. I heard on a podcast earlier this week, the montage of you had Ivan Drago doing all the lab work, and you had Rocky going, I'm a poor guy, and I'm out in the wood. Well, he wasn't poor in that movie. He was a millionaire, but he just had to get back to his roots.
Right, yeah.
And realistically, at that time, America would have absolutely been the one to be doing the lab work, and the guy in Russia would have been lifting fucking logs.
Yeah,
because the Soviet Union had no goddamn money.
Yeah.
That's absurd. Anyway,
it's a movie. It's a movie.
It's a goddamn movie. On to my topic for the evening, which may segue into your little topic.
Hopefully it does.
We will make that happen. I don't know if we talked a lot about picking a gimmick. I don't know how much we've talked about it. I really should look back on our topics.
I think we've talked a little bit about it.
But, picking a gimmick that works.
Yeah.
Works for you. Because a lot of guys, they'll come in, crush the Annihilator. Not even that. Some guys are just Joe Schmo, and they don't know where to go with a gimmick. They don't know how to start picking a gimmick because they never had to before.
Right. And, using your own name or a version of your name. Yeah, you see a lot of that.
Right. I mean, a lot of guys, they'll, use a pseudonym. And I guess that's rightfully so. Maybe you don't. I don't know. I wanted to use my name, which is why I was originally Grizzly Joe Grasso. I'll probably be that someday again. But for now, I'm Grizzly McBain, which is great for our gimmick.
Right.
Because everyone likes an ethnic gimmick.
I think going along the terms of the gimmick thing, why it's hard for people is because you don't they don't look at it as a show. They're not looking at it as you got to market yourself specifically in this show. You've got to be a unique product because, quite frankly, wrestlers are a dime a dozen. If you went on Facebook today, do yourself a little experiment and say, I'm starting a wrestling federation. My first show will be in 3 months. You will literally have 50 wrestlers email you tomorrow.
Correct.
Saying, I'm free to work on that show. And you'll have people coming out of the woodwork for it.
Oh, yeah.
So how do you differentiate yourself from, Crush the Annihilator?
How do you stand out from the crowd?
Right, or Daniel McBoone or any of those things.
I'm always of the opinion, and I think we both are, of the old school wrestlers. Nowadays, everyone's getting towards the MMA. It's just their name. They're not really anything attached to it. I think when I hear that, I think Brock Lesnar, who did make his character originally to be a brawler. He was one of the first guys, him and Ken Shamrock, who's like, okay, this is who I am. I'm just a mixed martial arts fighter, and that's my gimmick.
Right, I'm
that works for them.
Just a big badass.
But if everyone is doing that, if everyone's just picking a basic name, it's boring. It's not interesting. You just sound like a jobber to me. Like, you got to have some kind of character. It wasn't Terry Bollea. It was Hulk Hogan.
Right, but that shows a good differentiation between Brock Lesnar and Hulk Hogan. Okay, so here's my take on using the just regular generic dude name. So regular dudes you can change. You can evolve. Brock Lesnar can evolve from Suplex City to Shoot Fighter or whatever. But the Ultimate Warrior, as soon as he loses, he's obviously not that ultimate anymore. He's less ultimate. So you have to pick another. You have to get into the gimmick, though, in terms to get something that it has.
Speaking of the Ultimate Warrior, I just heard an interview with Jumpin' Jim Brunzell, who I fucking love.
Yeah, he's pretty great.
And I love his name just in general. He's from Minnesota. Nice guy. He was talking about the Warrior, and he said, he's a really nice guy, but, he was just a big muscle head, and he'd blow up in 2 seconds in the ring.
I think I heard that interview.
Did you hear that interview?
Yeah.
It was fucking great.
Was that with JR? I think it was JR.
No, it was
it
Colt
Cabana?
Yeah,
okay, I heard it, yeah.
He's like, oh, yeah, he hits the ropes twice, and he's blown up. He's getting $3 million a year, and he's having 2-minute matches.
Yeah.
Like, he beat the system.
So I see where you're coming from, Grizz, in terms of like, hey, I'm not really big into using just the regular name. Hey, I'm this guy. You got to have something that sizzles, because when you're this guy and then you're in a room of these guys on an indie show, who the hell are you and why should I care about you?
A very good point. I think you need to have several gimmicks in your back pocket when you're starting out, because you don't know what's going to take. And when you get to look, if I'm Grizzly Duncan McBain, if we show up as the Scottish tag team, let's say we do that. This is before, obviously right now, before we're over. We get there, and there's already a Scottish tag team there. We got two choices. We either go out and be a better Scottish tag team than them, or in our back pocket we have this other tag team.
Right, you bust out your mask, I bust out my mask, and we come in as Julian Blaze and the big red meanie or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And we go in there, and okay, we're working heel. The Grimy Scots are heel. We're in the same area. People would know us. Maybe we go under a hood, and we're a face tag team. Maybe this company, maybe we just want to work this weekend.
Right.
But this is not a right venue for the Grimy Scots. So we'll go under a mask. We'll go as a different gimmick and be something different so we can keep working.
Right. So having those gimmicks does help. But also having something that can evolve. Like Hulk Hogan is a very good example. He threw the word Hollywood in front of his name, and ta-da, he's a heel. Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
True.
Or he's just Hulk Hogan. He's a big guy. Big guys can get beat, but if you bill yourself as the unbeatable Dave Smith, and then you job out, guess what? You're the beatable Dave Smith.
Yeah, that's a joke name waiting to happen. It's a joke gimmick.
Right, yeah.
That's the other thing you got to be careful with. If you go down the route of a funny gimmick, people won't take you seriously, so there has to be skirting a line there.
Right.
Am I a hilarious gimmick, but I still have to be an ass kicker, otherwise why would anyone pay attention to my matches?
Now, going on to the gimmick route, I talked to the Jersey Devil at the House of Pain
The Hall of Fame show.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame show,
Yeah.
which was great. Met Nikolai Volkov and a lot of other really great House of Pain luminaries, which was fantastic.
Cool.
And the Jersey Devil, he goes, look, you guys need to, he goes, your gimmick is your grimy Scots, right? I said, yeah, we're Scottish guys. We're kind of bar fighters, scrappers. He's like, yeah, look, you're going to do the crappy heel stuff that all the heels do. Do the things behind the ref's back. You're going to do that. But you guys need a move, or each one of you needs a set, full and devastating looking, so that no matter what, you know, you don't look like you're winning just because you're super cheaters or slimy. You look like, whoa, these guys could actually win. You know, you have to have that in your back pocket.
That's a good point. I like that.
So, which really, really hammered home to me, like, so I have a side slam, which looks all right.
Yeah.
It's all right.
You got your Mexican drop kick.
A Mexican drop kick. I'd like to throw a spine buster in there. I would love to do that, but I think it's too big for a guy like me.
I think it's too big for you.
Yeah, I think I need something other than the spine buster, but I need something that is, wow, that guy just did something really neat and really strong, and he could actually win. You know, if he, you know, after that with this cheating, with that, what he just did, he could really win.
Well, okay,
now, Grizz, you've got a lot of options to you because you look big and powerful.
True, I've got a few things I already do. My headbutt's pretty good. I've got I actually have a decent side slam too. I've got the. What have I got? What else?
I want you to do that
I have a good body
backbreaker.
slam.
I want you to do that backbreaker. But the
I got to try that tonight.
But the body slam is a thing. It's ubiquitous, man.
Yeah,
Everybody
it
does
is
a body
ubiquitous.
slam. Like, you know, like the spine, like the Rock did the spine buster, boom, and it stops everything. You know, we need moves that boom stop the action, and then we go.
Right, we need to sometimes cut off a face.
Right, a cutoff
with
move.
a real move. You
Exactly.
know? It's like boom.
Yeah.
I've just hit him with something. Like that's my headbutt. My headbutt right now is my cutoff move.
Oh yeah.
Because you know they'll throw a line at me. I'll duck. They'll come back off the ropes. Bam! I hit him with the head. They're down.
Is that side headbutt to the
Yes.
stomach?
My
Oh
side
really?
head- Yes. It's to the pec. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay. Side headbutt to the pec.
I mean, it looks like I hit them in the head
Okay.
if they sell it correctly.
You
But
know
that's
what?
my cutoff move right now.
This is my suggestion to you. You give them that side headbutt, which
Yeah.
stops them, and then you just turn and unload a giant clothesline and just lay them out.
Maybe I like the look of a headbutt taking them down.
No, that's pretty cool. Yeah,
Because
it's different. And that's the same thing that the Jersey Devil said as well. He goes, look, find the move that's a stopper, and then do something neat to it that's yours. He was like, don't change it. He's like, if you do a spine buster, like, remember what The Rock did? He kicked that leg out, and boom, and then he would pop right back up. And they were like, oh, that's The Rock spine buster.
Ah.
Guess what? It was everybody's spine buster, and then The Rock did that, and it was, oh, well, I
That's a
guess
good
we can't
point.
do that.
That's a real good point.
So that's why I think with the Midnight Express backbreaker, if you take that, nobody does that. And I think that's a big, like, wow, that guy's a big, powerful dude that just hoisted that guy up and give him a backbreaker. But
Yeah, I'm going to try that out.
yeah. Well, maybe we'll work on it tonight.
Maybe.
But there's also a lot of those things, those heel bits from the Midnight Express that I'm definitely taking. Their cutoff stuff was outstanding. There's one section where they would do this a lot, where they would let the faces start to fire up from the corner, and boom, and they're just trading punches, and the heel looks like he's about to go down, and he gets that last punch, and oh my God, he's about to bump, and then he comes in to punch, and he gouges the guy in the eyes, and then he grabs his eyes, and then the heel falls over and tags his partner as he's falling down. And then you would come in and, you know, take over. So, you know, it gives the face that hope spot, and also, you know, shows the healiness of it. But back to the gimmick thing.
Yes, back to picking your gimmick.
Back to picking your gimmick. You need to pick something that is not outside of what you are. I am not a giant. I would not pick a giant gimmick.
No.
You know, now Crash Holly did it because it was comical, because he was comically small.
Yes.
And they did it so that they didn't have to wrestle. You know, they could pit him up against, you know, they could say he was too heavy to wrestle any of these lightweights.
Right.
But, you know, unless you're super over, you can't just walk into a dressing room and say, you know, hey, I'm Steve Davis, the 450-pound heavyweight who's unbeatable and unliftable.
Okay, you can go one of two ways. You can go with a look. You start with a look, like, oh, I like to wear jeans to the ring, picking a real basic example. Like if I pick jeans to the ring and then build a gimmick off of that. Or if you have a catchy name. I think of oh God, what was his name? Wahoo McDaniels or Wahoo. It was Wahoo Daniels. That name, it pops. Or Jumpin' Jim Brunzell. That's a name that pops.
Right.
And you know what he does? You know what? He's probably going to fucking jump.
Right. Yeah. He's going to jump.
Yep. And that's so simple. It's just you can go simple
right.
as long as you feel it in your head. You feel the way you speak. I mean, maybe you just need to talk to people, like start saying names and what clicks.
Right. And also, realize your gimmick is going to evolve. You might think you're coming in, day one or month 1 or month 5 or whatever, and you're like, man, we are going to be, and this is no joke, Grizz and I were going to be Rock and Roll Sky Clash.
I think we've told that on every podcast.
God,
Rock and Roll Sky Clash, Blake Lightning and Chad Thunder.
How can you not love that?
They'll come back.
Still great. Still great. You know what? That's our gimmick that's in our pocket. We got to keep
that's our pocket
boom
gimmick,
box.
yes.
Yeah. Oh god, so good.
Yeah, if you look at any wrestler, for the most part, they all have about 12 different gimmicks they've worked under.
Right.
Like they've evolved. It's where you just want to work when you're a wrestler, so you want to be able to like change. Like, Booker wants you to be this guy. It's like, look at Steve Austin. He was stunning Steve Austin. He was the ringmaster. He's like, I just want to work.
Right.
So I was like, yes, okay, I'll do that gimmick.
And in a lot of times, you will morph the gimmick for what is needed. You can't, if a Booker needs, a face and the Grimy Scots are not a face, Grimy Scots might not be chosen to work that. So you need, Grimy Scots can work both ways. We can work heel or face. Book us anytime you want.
That's true.
Find us on Facebook.
Some characters always gravitate towards, yes, find us on Facebook, gravitate towards a face or a heel, but you have to have a character that could go either way.
Right.
With a slight tweak.
Right. And that's helpful in the gimmick as well, especially in this era. It's not the era of Duke the Dumpster Drozy or any of those, the Big Boss Man.
Right.
Any of those that you could kind of come away with. You still can. You still see those around. But it's more helpful if you pick something that's within your range of whom you are for real.
Yeah, it's something you gotta like, something you gotta have fun with. You can start with theme music. That's usually how I go down it. I'll find a piece of theme music and then build off a character off of that.
Yeah, Grizz is really good at that. By the way, if you do need theme music, just hit him up. He's really good at picking it.
Contact me at Grizzly Duncan McBain.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
I will find you music.
He will.
I really love doing that. But pick your damn gimmick. Pick one that you like. Pick one you think the crowd will like. And if it doesn't work, be willing to throw it out.
Right, and pick one you can believe in, because a crowd, just like anything, could see through you pretending.
They will see through your bullshit.
Right. So fast. So fast.
So now let's move on to your topic. You picked an interesting topic.
Yeah, so even after you've been training for years and years, we have people who come in who've been indie wrestlers for 10 years still come in on training nights.
Oh, yeah, and they work super hard. Wildman Robbie Page put together this awesome drill set to warm up with. And you know what? After everybody goes, he gets in, does the same damn thing.
Right.
He doesn't sit to the side, and, he wants to be in it just as much as everyone else.
Right. So why do they still come in and train? You think, I've honed my craft enough, I can do this, I don't need it. So, I used to be an improv comedian. I did that for several years with Comedy Sports. You train to do improv as well. You come in and rehearse improv for the same reason. Because a lot of the times you'll get into certain scenarios which are familiar. And if you don't look familiar and comfortable in those scenarios, it will show greatly.
Yep.
One big thing that kind of turned over in my head just recently, and if you listen to any of our earlier podcasts, is me feeling totally lost in the ring in terms of like heat or what I'm going to do to the face. Or I've turned a corner on that and feel much more comfortable in the ring because of all of the practice being in there and failing and getting better and failing and getting better and failing and getting better and then just doing eventually.
They did a study. They talked to all masters of different things. Masters playing the violin, master carpenters, master and whatever.
I think I saw that study.
Yeah. It was recent. The thing they all had in common was they never stopped practicing. They would find time, and they would keep at it. You know what opera singers do? Champion opera singers.
Champion opera singers. That's right. The belt holder is pretty big.
The highest paid opera singers still have vocal lessons every single week. Every single week. They work with a vocal coach, and they do lessons because they don't stop, because you never stop fine-tuning your instrument. In our case, our instruments are bodies, as actors, as performers, as wrestlers. Your body is your thing, so you got to keep working on it. You got to keep working on your in-ring time. This is why these vets keep on training, because they want to stay sharp in the ring. And they got to... same thing with improv. God damn it. Pro wrestling is... physical improv.
It is
oh
physical.
My God.
It is improv stage combat.
The more scenarios you can be in the ring, you'll be comfortable, because there'll come a point when you'll hit one that you don't know, which in your early days you're going to hit a lot of.
A ton.
And you're going to feel fucking lost, as Hamish just said.
Yeah, you will feel and you will look lost. You'll go, what do I do next? And you'll wait for somebody to tell you what to do instead of, stalking and picking your shots and what you need to do. Now, as a heel, the thing that I now need to start working on is slowing down the pace when it comes to what am I picking and what am I going for?
Yeah.
Who am I going to pick out and what are we going to pick on?
That is the job of the heels. I was looking at that. I watched you pointed out in that Midnight Express match.
Yeah, Midnight Express and the
they made who was it? The Rockers?
No, Rock and Roll Express.
Rock and
Two
Roll
Expresses.
Express.
Midnight Express, Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah, that was weird, but it worked.
They feuded a lot. They really
They should.
did
Who's
feud.
going to get the Express?
I know who. Well, Jim Cornette is your manager.
Oh God, he's so good.
Jim Cornette, he's fantastic.
But
damn racket.
I don't think it's always the heel's job, but it's kind of the heel's job to slow the match down, because the face wants to get pumped. The face wants to fire up. The face always wants to get to that fire up of the match, and they should. They should, but it's the heel's job to slow it down, because I'm going to take my time and beat the shit out of you, Mr.
Right.
Face.
And you also want the face is also in the story most of the time the better of the two combatants.
Yes.
Is the one that if pound for pound you put them in a ring and there was no cheating, they would win, 6 days and twice on Sunday.
Right. That's your basic pro wrestling story there.
Yeah, your basic psychology there is your face should win every time in a fair fight. Now, and that's why I feel like the face is moving faster, because they know, hey, look, I can win. I'm trying to get to this. I'm trying to get to this next move. The heel's got to slow it down and think more and be more methodical in terms of like, this is what I got to do. I cut this guy off. I'm done with this. Now
Yep.
I got to work on this ankle, and I keep working this ankle until the end, or until whatever I need to do. And building off the finish is where I'm starting to kind of start to put the pieces together in terms of, okay, so the finish is going to be X. To build to that finish to where there's a giant release from the crowd, what do I need to do to this good guy to make him overcome that and look stronger?
Yeah.
And that's really started to come along. Now, I won't say it's come along greatly. I mean, like, it's coming along. There's still times I just get in there and just pound the crap out of a face for no good reason, and just you're like, what are you doing in there? Like,
Yeah.
Please pick something to do and not everything to do.
You're right.
Because, and I think this is what I get to in terms of some of the matches is, and the training bit of it is that the body slams and all the suplexes and the 450 splash, all that, that's a move, that's a means to an end. So if it doesn't come out organically, so if somebody rushes up to me and I give them a knee and then give them a 450 splash, oh, my Luthez press, that's what I need.
Yeah,
that's kind of like,
that's good for you,
like a face move, but
It's a face move, but you could heal it up.
Yeah. Oh, yes. That's what I need. Anyway, so
You got? You know what you do? You know how you change that to a heel move? You press them, you hit them once. See, a face is going to hit him a bunch of times.
Right, yeah.
And that gets people pumped up. But if you get just one, maybe it's an elbow, maybe it's something dirty there.
Right, I think if I can get high enough and get my kilt over their face and then land down and then punch them while their face is under the kilt, that might
be something.
I don't know. It'd be tough targeting, but
yeah,
could be throwing a bunch of potatoes.
Well, yeah.
Right. Get ready for these.
It's coming, man.
Enjoy these potatoes. I'm going to bounce them off your nose.
You know what you do? I don't know how you do it. You throw an elbow. That's a real Scottish, Irish, Gaelic thing, is to throw elbows.
Oh, yeah?
So you hit him with the Luther, and boom, you hit him with an elbow, which really is a legitimate hard strike that would put somebody like, all you need is one.
Yeah.
To like keep him down for a minute.
Right.
And I think that's kind of super heelish. Just like, boom, pow.
Right, yeah. I figure
and then
out.
you pop up.
Yeah.
But you'll play with it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Because it's got to work in your body.
That's right. It's got to be a thing that works for me. But
That's right, buddy.
So cutting off the face and doing what you need to do to get that big release, that big pop at the end is.
So back to your original point, get back and train.
Right,
Stop training.
Don't stop. It only makes you better.
You've never stopped, man. Don't ever stop being a student.
Right.
The best masters are still students.
That's correct.
You know, man.
I think that's a good place to end it,
God
Grizz.
damn it, yeah. I'm fucking philosophical over here, man.
I like it.
Yeah, you wait till you hear my solo. It's nothing but philosophic bullshit for like
I'll get to it in a second.
28 minutes.
Nice.
It's crazy. I'll put it out this week. It'll be great. All right, we are almost in beautiful downtown Hagerstown, Maryland, which is, of course, the home of the Neil Superior House of Pain Professional Wrestling Training Center. And we're tapping out. Remember, rate and subscribe to us on iTunes.
That's right. Find us on Facebook. I won't give you the address because it drives Grizz crazy.
Apparently you're supposed to.
Okay, www.facebook.
Go on the World Wide Web, the information superhighway.
That's right. And find us on Facebook.
God damn it, I forgot to take a sponsor break again.
Oh!
I'm just going to insert it. I'll insert it.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll just, you know what you do? You do like Jericho. Get like, you're talking.
Austin's
and then,
doing it now, too.
I know it's the worst. The worst. And I'm talking to Grizz. And Grizz, I know that you want to talk about this, but let me tell you about DDP Yoga. You met DDP 1,000, like, it's so
really
horrible.
annoying, yeah.
It's the worst.
Just say, hey, just insert it. You can insert and be like, and now we're stopping for yeah.
Yeah, now it's time for our sponsor.
The way you're trying to weave it in so it disappears it really
just makes it sound worse.
Well,
it's
anyway.
so horrible. Anyway.
Rate and subscribe to us on iTunes. Find us on Facebook.
That's right. The Road to Wrestling School on Facebook.
You can, if you got a question, if you want to just talk about the show, you can email us at roadtowrestlingschool@gmail.com.
If you want us any topics you want us to talk about, or if you want to book us, you can book us at roadwrestlingschool.com.
Yep, you can find us Renaissance Rumble as well if you want to
That's
find
right.
us there. We don't have a Grimy Scott's page yet, but we'll
Not
have it
yet.
someday.
It's coming up. We're getting our promo pictures done shortly.
All right, I'm Grizzly Duncan McBain.
And I'm #Hamish Stewart.
Keep the faith, Greenhorns. We'll see you down the road and
in the ring. That ending sounds good. I like that.